I'm really excited about today's video. Today we're going to learn how to shape shots and how to truly have control over the golf ball. Let's get started. So there's another push draw there, a shot that starts right at the target and then curves back towards the target. Welcome back, shot benders. Today I'm really excited for you to have a true understanding of how to shape shots and what we need to do in order to get the type of curvature and shot shape that we like. Hi, I'm Roland from Shotbender Golf. So if you're frustrated with not being able to control the golf ball and you want to learn how to shape shots, this is the video for you. This is part of where the Shotbender name comes from, because we're going to be able to control the shots and the shape of what we want the golf ball to do. So we'll be curving shots around the golf course, which not only makes it a lot of fun, but also it's a good way to score. So you'll be able to control the golf ball and call your shots before you hit them. Let's get started. So first, let's talk about how I want you to think about the golf shot, okay? I want you to think of two things. Where does the ball start and which way does it curve? As shot benders, we're going to be able to control both. All right, so let's talk about stock shots. So what is a stock shot? A stock shot is a shot that you hit the majority of the time, okay? So when you pull a club out the bag, it's what you expect to hit if you're not trying to do anything special with it. Meaning as long as the hole doesn't call for a specific shot, so it's a go-to shot that you're going to hit most of the time. So the stock shot I would like for you to have is called a push draw, okay? It's a shot that starts slightly right of your target and then curves back to your target, okay? And we'll talk about why that is. So the first reason that we want to use a push draw is because that's the furthest way to hit a golf ball. So everything we do in Shotbender Golf is not only for you to hit it the furthest, but also the most consistently. So if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe and you can learn how to hit it the furthest way possible. The second reason is because there's not a lot of straight shots in golf. So the club is built on an angle, we swing on an angle, so the ball is likely to curve one way or the other. So we're going to control that curve while still hitting it as far as we can. So I typically teach over 2,000 lessons a year, and rarely do I see a shot that starts on the 0 line and ends on the 0 line. So perfectly straight shots anyway, don't really happen very often. So we're going to control the curvature, and this is part of the reason that you hear pros talk about shaping shots a lot, right? So if the best players in the world can't hit it dead straight all the time, really nobody can. So rarely on the golf course do we have a dead straight putt, and even then it tends to oscillate one way or the other. So let alone a 300-yard drive or a long iron coming into a green, there's going to be some curvature. So now let's talk about the two things I want you to think about when you're hitting the shot, all right? So the first thing we want to think about is where does the ball start, okay? So if this is a dead straight line here, if we were to start it to the right, that's called a push, just pushing it out to the right. There's a straight, and then there's a left, which is called a pull. So you have a push that starts out to the right, you have a straight, and you have a pull. Okay, so that's how we're going to think of where the ball starts. Now from there, we're going to think about where does the ball curve. Okay, so where does the ball start and where does the ball curve? So it can push, it can straight, and it can pull to start. Now from there, what it does in the air is which way it curves. So if it goes a little bit to the right, that's called a fade. If it goes a lot to the right, that's a slice, okay? Or a straight. And then if it goes to the left, it's called a draw or a hook if it curves a lot to the left, okay? So generally speaking, let's talk about the type of shots we want to hit, okay? So we really want to start the ball either to the right or straight. Okay, rarely do we want to start it left, okay? Why is that? Because starting it to the right or straight is going to be the furthest way to hit a golf ball, where if we start to pull it a little bit and fade it or slice it from there, that's going to be one of the weakest shots you can hit, okay? So it's going to be the least amount of distance if you start it left and start to slice it. A lot of you are familiar. So now that we're armed with the information that we want to either push it or start it straight, let's talk about which way we want it to curve, and that's going to be called a draw. So the draw is going to curve a little bit left, and that's going to give you a little bit extra distance. So ideally, to get the most amount of distance while still controlling the direction would be called a push draw, a shot that starts right of the target line, okay? So starting right and then it's curving back to the target line, all right? So having a push draw is not only going to be one way to control the direction, it's going to be the furthest way to hit a golf ball, and it's going to help us a lot with the launch, okay? So if we start the ball too far to the left, generally speaking, we're going to have launch issues, meaning it's going to go too high, pop-ups, or it's going to go too low, those really low worm burners that people hit, where it just doesn't get really off the ground. Okay, but swinging out to the right there is going to help you launch the ball effectively. A lot of videos on this channel is designed to help you do just that. So make sure you check out the other videos to show you how to do these pieces. Okay. So now we're going to talk about how to hit the push draw in particular. I'll show you how to shape other shots as well, but being how I would like the push draw to be your stock shot because it's the furthest way to hit a golf ball, we're going to start with that. Okay. So in order to hit a push draw, essentially what you're looking for, if we're boiling this down into the simplest terms possible, okay, essentially you want to hit the ball with a square face, okay, while swinging in to out or to the right. Okay, I'll say that again. So in order to hit a push draw, we're going to have a square face as we swing out to the right. Okay, so if I go ahead and hit a little half swing there, I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so you can see I clearly swung out to the right a little bit, but it actually ended up left of the target a little bit. So this is what we're talking about as far as a push draw goes. So if this is our zero line or straight, it starts right, and then in the air, it curves back towards the target. Okay. So let's talk about the shot shape most of you hit, and that's called a pull slice. Okay. So a pull slice is the exact opposite of what we're trying to do. So if we're trying to have a square face and swing to the right, what a pull slice is a club face that's open or aimed to the right while we swing left. So this is what it would look like. Okay. And you can see it's a shot that starts left of the target line and then curves out to the right. So this would be one of the shortest ways to hit a golf ball. Think of a bunker shot or a flop shot, right, where you can swing really hard and it doesn't go very far. That's essentially what you're doing with your full swing. That's not what we want to do. We want to do the opposite, right? So we want to have a square face and swing to the right. There you go. So there's another push draw there, a shot that starts right of the target and then curves back towards the target. And really, this is what I would love for your misses to be, okay? It's a shot that draws a little bit, and if it doesn't draw all the way back to the target, it just stays right of the target line slightly, right? It's not slicing away from the target, it's working back towards the target. The reason you wouldn't want a shot curving too much is because then it's actually curving away from the target, and we never really want to curve away from the target in any shot. So let's talk about different types of shots here, right? So if we wanted to start it left and go further left, all we'd want to do is have somewhat of a square face and then swing to the left. Okay. So now we're going to see those pull hooks or pull draws from there. And remember we talked about it not launching very well. So now you can see it started too far left, curved too far left, and you can see the height is pretty much half of what that good push draw was. Okay, so not necessarily the most effective shot to have, but it is a shot that you can use if you're under a tree or if you need to get around a bush, something like that. Now if we needed to do the opposite, say we needed to start it right and then have it curve right, essentially what I'd do is swing somewhat to the right with an open face, and then it'll start right and then continue to curve right from there. Okay? Now you can really see how to start shaping shots here. It's all about two things, the club face and which direction you're swinging in. All right, so let's go in order there. So we're gonna start with a push fade or push slice, a shot that starts right and curves to the right. All I'm doing is keeping the face open and swinging to the right. So what you'll see is it starts right and really curves off to the right. Okay. Now we're going to hit more of a push straight, a shot that starts right but then stays on that line. All I'm going to do is have an open face or relatively square face to my path, meaning if I'm swinging to the right, the face is just matching that. Okay. So there you go. Okay, so you can see it pushed and just stayed on the line. It didn't slice off to the right like the first one did. Let's go ahead and hit a push draw. So we're going to have a square face as we swing to the right. And that should be your pretty stock typical shot right there. All right. And there's your push draw, a shot that starts right and then curves left. Now if I was trying to hit the straightest shot possible, which is a square face with a square path or a neutral path, really tough to do, but let's try. Yeah. Okay, relatively straight. If this video is helping you, tap the like button, and if you want to continue to get better at golf, subscribe. So now you saw the different shots swinging to the right. Okay, you had the push slice or push fade there. You had the push straight, which started right and stayed on that line. Then you had the push draw that starts right, curves left. And then we had the relatively straight shot there. Okay, so let's talk about the type of shots swinging to the left. All right, once again, swinging to the left, not the fastest way to swing, but there are some shots that we can hit from here. So if I had a open club face and I swung to the left, what would happen? It would start left and then start to curve right. Okay. Then the next shot would be more of the pull straight, where I have a relatively square club face and I'm swinging to the left. Okay. So it kind of just starts left and stays on that line. And then another shot would be the pull hook, where the club face is more closed and I swing even further to the left. And then you'd see it start left and really curve hard to the left there. Okay. And what I find are people who've been playing 20-30 years never know this stuff. So comment down below if this is brand new to you, or if you have another way you like to shape shots. So now you can see you can hit a wide array of shots, keeping things very simple. All we're trying to do is control the club face and control the path. All right, so in order to do those things, there are pieces that move around in the swing. Make sure you check out our other videos to learn how to do these pieces well. If this video helped you, tap the like button. If you want to continue getting better at golf, subscribe, and I'll see you at the next one. Thanks for watching.